Today is August 26, 24. So you'll be working on equivalent form still, but I want to stress which triangle you'll need for sure for homework, okay? So if you go to your notes equivalent forms, the triangle that you're gonna need today would be this guy, okay? Because we're gonna be, your four problems that you're gonna do at home is gonna go in from fraction to decimal. Now, some of you are not sure how to use this, so I'm going to remind you. Okay, so if I'm going to go from fraction, which is fraction form, numerator over denominator, into decimal, you follow the arrow into decimal, the strategy is right here. I need to divide numerator, which is a top number inside, and the denominator bottom out. So I always say that bottom out, okay? So when I go from fraction to decimal, which is today's homework 1 through 4, I want to bottom out, okay? So that's only the only side of the triangle that you use today, okay? And again, where do I find this? You'll find it in the notes equivalent forms. The triangle would be there. The actual assignment is this guy here, which we started on Friday. So I'm actually going to record what we did on Friday in case you were absent or you forgot. I will show you in a minute. Okay. So you'll put homework page 2 is all you're required. Page 2, 1 through 4 only. Okay. I'll be doing number 2 right now with you. And then I'll go back to Friday's assignment too, okay? But right now I'm going to start with the homework stuff so like that you won't be all confused at home. So you open it, always make sure that it has your bisd.us account. And here we go. So on Friday we worked on page 1, which I'm going to do a video right now on page 1. But for now I'm going to page 2 so you know exactly what to do at home. It's just you're going to choose a bubble, okay, on each choice, okay? But let's do number 1 together so you can get an idea of what I expect you to do. So it says on Tuesday, Joey walked 10/4 of miles, okay, to his friend's house. Which of the following best represents 10 out of 4, 10/4, okay? So you already know that the first thing that I want is the question. So they basically want me to something that represents 10/4 miles, okay? So my question is, which of the following represents 10/4? So they want to know who represents 10/4. That's my question. My facts are important because they gave me the fraction 10/4. It is an improper fraction. When a fraction on the top is bigger than the bottom, the number on the top is bigger than the bottom, that is called an improper fraction. Okay? So I might want to put that note here and say, you know what, you are improper. And whenever you have an improper fraction, that means that you will have wholes. You will have units, whole numbers. So if I have an improper fraction, you will have wholes. Okay? Something else that I notice is that my choices, they're all in decimal form. So since they're all in decimal form, I know that they want me to go from fraction to decimal. All these are facts that I got from the story, from the problem. Again, here's the actual problem in a copy. Remember that if you do not have access to the internet, you need to ask me for copies. Okay? but you're not allowed to write on the copies because this is like your computer screen now. So represents 10 fourth, represents 10 fourth. That's what they want. The facts, they did give me the fraction. It was an improper fraction. Since it's an improper fraction, I know that I better have whole numbers. When it's an improper fraction, I better have whole numbers. How did I know it's improper? The top number is bigger than the bottom. Okay? And we are going from fraction to decimal. Now, here, nowhere in the story does it say we're going to decimal, but I looked at all the choices. All my choices are in decimal form. That tells me that I'm going from fraction, which is this guy, to a decimal. Okay? Now my strategy. How do I go from a fraction to a decimal? Well, that's where the triangle will come into play. The triangle, notes, I can open it here. And here we have fraction into decimal. So it says to divide numerator by denominator, top in, bottom out. So this is a bottom out strategy. Okay. So the strategy would be to divide numerator divided by denominator, bottom out. Okay. So if I have n over d, the d better be outside. Okay. Now I'm ready. I'm going to use a space here on this side. It doesn't matter. You can continue going down and then draw over here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use it over here. So 10 divided by 4. So 10 divided by 4. If you notice what I did, the bottom stays outside, bottom out. The numerator, which is 10, that goes inside. It's inside. The denominator is 4, that goes outside. Now, I'll put my decimal point at the end. And that's where many kids mess up. You forget to put it. You need to put it quickly at the end, guys. If there's no decimals inside or outside, which there shouldn't because it's a fraction, right? I will put quickly the decimal on the right side, the outer right side. But I want to tell you what happens for the kids that do not follow that, and you'll screw up, guys. Okay? Anyway, so we have now 10 divided by 4. I like to go place value by place value. So 1. Is 1 enough for 4? No, it's not. So that's 0 right there. So now I'm going to go to 10 because I didn't have enough with the tens. Now I'm going to go to 10 ones. Now is 10 enough for 4? Yes. 4 times what gives me close to 10 or 10? Well, 4 times 2 gives me the 8. Now we have a remainder, right? Now that's not enough for 4, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 0, which is make more pieces. You're making more pieces. And now we have 20 tenths, 20 pieces. Is that enough for 4? Yes, it is. Times what? 5. So my decimal is 2.5, which basically I do not need that 0 anymore, so it's going to be 2.5. So my final answer is that 10/4 is equivalent to 2.5. And then we box our answer. I can go back to my choices. Here are my choices. 2.5 is there. So I know that the letter C is the answer I'm going to select. So I'm going to put letter C here. And I'm going to box it. Okay. Then I already told you that I like to do a little bow around and say, okay, all this inside is for question number 2. Here's my questions. There's my facts. My strategy was bottom out, divide numerator divided by denominator, bottom out. Then I went to do the strategy, actually divide it out. Don't forget to put the decimal always at the end. And that's how I got the final answer. Then I can go to my teacher made and choose the right answer, 2.5. Okay? Now, here's what bothers me. If I know it's improper, I have to have whole numbers. So just with that, I know that letter D, see letter D right there? That one is no holes. I know that that one is dumb already. I cannot choose letter D because it has no holes, and if it's improper, you have to have holes. So you know it has to be this guy has two holes, this guy has 10 holes, this guy has four ones. It has to be A, C, or B. Just by me knowing it's improper, I know D is dumb already. Just by me knowing that it's improper, D is dumb because it has no holes, and when it's improper, you have to have holes. Okay? On the other hand, look at this guy. When it's proper, you see the top number is smaller now? That is called a proper fraction. When it's proper, it better not have holes. It better not have holes. So now D over here would be wrong because that one has holes. So it has to be C, B, or A. Okay? Now in sixth grade, what we have a lot of trouble is kids doing this. They do the matching thing. They'll match things. They'll say, okay, 10 over 4. Aquí está 10 over. We're not matching, guys. We're not in kinder. We're just going to be matching numbers. Okay? Don't be doing that. More than likely, if you're just matching 10, 10, 4, 4, you probably have the wrong answer. That's probably a dumb answer already. Okay? So don't be matching. Don't be matching. And again, this guy has no holes. You should have holes. Okay? Now another problem that I said I was going to share with you that kids do here. I'm going to do it with division. So I'm going to get a pen from here. Hold on. Let me get a pen. Okay? Let me get a pen. One of the problems that I see kids mess up also is when they do this. Okay? They know it's bottom out, so they know it's division. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me get a pen here going. Where is it? Right there. Okay. Here it comes. Here it comes. Come on. Okay, it's not behaving, so I don't know why, but I'll just use this guy. I want to use another pen, but I'll use. Oh, there it is. Finally. Let's get rid of this guy. Now we can use this guy. Are you gonna let me? You're not gonna let me? Okay, I'll just use this one. Here we go. So some kids will know, okay, yeah, it's bottom out. So 10 divided by 4. But I told you quickly put the decimal. And sometimes kids just don't put it quickly. They just start dividing. So they go, 1, is that enough? They'll say no. 10, is that enough? Yes. Times 2 would be 8. So far everything looks good. Just like mine. But they forgot to put the decimal. They'll add the 0. When you have a remainder, keep on adding zeros. No remainder, they stop there. Now here's where they're like, okay, where do I put the decimal? And they'll probably want to put it here because that's you always think, oh, 0 point something. So you already messed up for not putting the decimal quickly, but you still have a chance to still catch your mistake because this guy's improper. You know that there has to be holes here, at least one of them, and right now you have 0 holes, so that tells you that you messed up putting the decimal in the wrong place. So you need to make sure that you check always that. Okay. So make sure again, like you're careful with that. So this guy, look, it's improper already, so you should know that you have to have holes. So it's gonna be one of these, probably one of these two. This guy is proper, so it has no holes. Again, please don't be matching. We don't match. Like don't go 5, 5, 8, 8. More than likely, when you start matching like that, you probably have the wrong answer. You have to go outside and bottom out. One more thing that I noticed in one of the classes is that when we're dividing, let's just make up a fraction. Let's say we have 1/8. And I need to go to decimal, so we're gonna bottom out. Bottom out means to divide, so I'm gonna go 1 divided by 8, bottom out. Put your decimal quickly, like I just mentioned, don't wait. 1, is that enough? No, it's not. 0, and that's good because it's proper. You should not have holes. That's what I mean. It's proper. You should have no holes. We add 0, which is make more pieces. Now we have 10 tenths, which is 10 pieces. And I can go times 1. 1 for each group. 10 minus 8 would be 2. So again, we have a remainder. So I'm going to go ahead and add a 0, which is make more pieces. That's what you're doing, just making pieces. By adding zeros, you're making more pieces. You're chopping those two tens into hundreds, 20 hundreds now. Okay, so now we have 20 hundreds, so it's going to be times 2, which will be 16. Okay, so kids are like, when do we stop? Well, I want you to stop in the thousands at least. So you still have a remainder. We're at 10th hundredth, so we're going to add one more 0. And hopefully it finishes. But if not, you still stop. Don't worry about it. This one is a terminating decimal, so we'll stop there. So you see, sometimes kids think, oh, you can have bunch of, yeah, you can. So this would be 1/8. The decimal of 1/8 would be 0.125, 125 thousandths. That would be worth 1/8. This guy is equal to that. Okay. Now, money wise, if I wanted to make it money, we would say, okay, it's about 12 cents. Okay, you could say 13 cents because it's 5 or higher, you can say 13 cents. But as a decimal, it's 0.125. That's the answer, 0.125. Now, we would have another remainder. You could add another zero you want, but I just prefer you stop in the thousands. Why in the thousands? Because you're used to the thousands from elementary. In elementary, you would stop in the thousands. So, see there? Tenth, hundredth, thousands, just stop in the thousands and just put that decimal. This one had a terminating decimal, it stopped, good for us, 0.125. So just because if you get a remainder, you keep on making pieces. 0, drop it. Get a remainder, 0, drop it. Until you don't have a remainder, then we can stop. In case you would have a remainder, I want you to still stop in the thousands. Just stop there. You don't have to say, okay, let's add another 0 and go to the 10,000s. Just stop in the thousands, okay? So for homework, you will have, again, just let me review. You'll have from page 2, or if you have a copy, you'll have page 41, because I have copies too for the ones that do not have access to the Google Classroom or to YouTube. You'll have number 1, which I already did with you. You'll have number 2. You'll have number 3. And you'll have number 4. So you have 1 through 4 from slide 2, page 1, no, page 2, 1 through 4, okay, page 41. Okay, that is for homework today. I'll stop this video and I'm gonna make another video right now for page 1. That was Friday's work. Okay, so this is today's homework, so I'll stop it. I'll put it in today's assignment, and then on Fridays I'll put it right now. Okay, click finish later because we still need more pages, so I always put finish later unless you're completely done with. Then we do submit. Okay.